are going to discuss another session for the questions AP EAPCET. Okay, this is the question hour session. Okay, we are going to discuss the questions what are the came from the AP EAPCET. Guys, first question in the zoology subject, high pH, low CO2 and low temperature is favorable shift oxygen oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve towards. What about oxyhemoglobin? Oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve is what? Okay, oxygen binds with hemoglobin. Oxygen binds with hemoglobin. What are the factors affect the between the relation oxygen and hemoglobin bonding? Factors, of course, first factor is partial pressure of oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen, which leads to the binding with the hemoglobin, oxyhemoglobin. Okay. The hemoglobin, they can carry the oxygen into the tissue. Hemoglobin, which is carry oxygen into the tissue, where there is a tissue is there through the blood. Okay. The oxygen which is delivered in the tissue, guys, tissue utilize the oxygen for the metabolic activity to give the energy. Energy ATP and CO2 and heat mean temperature. Temperature, where in the tissue it is going to take place. In the tissue, right? In the tissue, ATP and CO2 and temperature will be produced in the tissue with the utilization of oxygen. Guys, low pH, low CO2, low temperature favors oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve towards, mean this is high pH, low CO2 and low temperature is going to take place here, where? Not in the tissue. Not in the tissue, that is the going to take place, because of tissue create temperature, tissue produce CO2, mean high CO2 is there, high temperature is there. If that CO2 high, there is a hydrogen ions also high, hydrogen ions also high. So, if the hydrogen ions high, mean carbonic acid produce, carbonic acid. Acid mean it is pH increase, pH increase. If the acid produce pH, acidic medium is increase, pH will decrease, pH will decrease. So, high pH mean it is a base. These conditions, high pH, low CO2, low temperature, this is the condition going to take place in the lungs. In the lungs. In the lungs, what happened in the cow? Okay. This is partial pressure of O2 and saturation with the hemoglobin, O2 saturate percentage with hemoglobin. So, if it is 10 partial pressure, 20 partial pressure, 30, 50, 70, 90, 100, how much it can be satisfied to saturate the hemoglobin, which is 10, 30, 40, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. Partial pressure in the lungs in the lungs, the partial pressure of course which is high in the lungs, and what happened, the sigmoid curve shift rightward. Actually the sigmoid curve nothing but it is S shape, this shape is sigmoid curve. Okay. If the CO2 produced in the tissue, the sigmoid curve shift rightward, where high CO2 means CO2 produced in the tissue, right? Temperature high, in the tissue temperature high, right? So, and there is a low pH, mean acid release, right? Low pH. This condition, the sigmoid curve shift rightward in the tissue. In the tissue, the sigmoid curve shift rightward because of the partial pressure of oxygen very low leads to produce carbon dioxide, mean there is a loss of the oxygen in the matters of carbon dioxide release, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide will increase. If the partial pressure of carbon dioxide will increase, that can be lose the oxygen, mean the affinity of hemoglobin with the oxygen very less, the affinity of hemoglobin with the carbon dioxide is high in the tissue, that is Bohr effect, that is Bohr effect. Okay. In that condition, release of more high amount of carbon dioxide, metabolic activity rate increase, that is why heat generates, temperature generate, and carbonic acid with the oxygen, sorry, with the carbon dioxide, there is a carbon dioxide produced, mean acid, carbonic acid produce, that carbonic acid which is low pH, it is maintain low pH. This condition is the curve shift rightward. If come to the lungs, lungs nothing but the shift going to take leftward, guys, leftward, mean it is completely low pH, sorry, high pH, low CO2, low heat, low temperature, leads to shift left side. Answer is 1. Answer is 1. Okay? Yeah. Of course, left side, the left side indicate higher affinity of hemoglobin O2 in the alkaline, low CO2. When partial pressure of oxygen increases, the affinity of affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen will increase. This is Haldane effect. Haldane effect. Guys, you have to write it. You have to write it. Bohr effect in the tissue. Bohr effect in the tissue where the carbon dioxide which is attached to the hemoglobin. Okay? Yes. I hope you guys understand this question. Next question. Okay, you have to write it, take the screenshot. Next question. Pneumonia is caused by, this is the health and disease, human health and disease. The question will come each like health and disease, there is a sure question, guys. Okay. Pneumonia is caused by Salmonella, Haemophilus, Rhinovirus, Microsporium. Guys, This is the answer, Haemophilus influenza. Haemophilus influenza, that is direct question which is coming from Human Health and Disease. Haemophilus influenza is the bacterial agent responsible for the pneumonia, particularly in the children. Of course, there is a cold is continually about 2 weeks or 3 weeks going to take place. It is comes under pneumonia. It is the bacterial disease. Okay, it is bacterial disease. Coccus type of bacteria, coccus, like round shaped bacteria, not rod shape, cocci bacteria. Bacteria, Haemophilus influenza is the bacteria coccus type, like grapes like structure is there, that kind of bacteria that can be affect the children mostly. Pneumonia is the bacterial example, Haemophilus. Streptococcus, just here, coccus, streptococcus is the bacteria, or viral also there, not fungal and parasitic, guys. It is the disease about the bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae. Coccus is like a round shaped bacteria which is like grapes. Okay? Yes, I hope you guys understand. This is very easy question, direct question. Okay? You have to segregate what are the bacterial diseases, what are the viral diseases and fungal diseases, and there is any infections. Okay? Yeah, you have to segregate, or else any tropical parasitic diseases. Mostly tropical country, this is India, tropical country, there is a parasitic disease also there, like flatworms and roundworms. They are also affect the human being by the parasitic adaptations. Okay? Guys, I hope you guys understand this. Okay? Thank you. Yeah, next question. It is the match the following question, where the structural organization in the animal diversity, okay, acoelom, pseudocoelom, cytocoelom, enterocoelom. Actually, what is coelom? Coelom is the tube within the tube. Okay? Coelom is tube within the tube. This is tube, and there is another tube. Tube within the tube we can call coelom. Coelom mean it is actually originate from the mesoderm, which is coelom is originate from the mesoderm. Mesoderm is the germ layer which is produce embryonic development. Okay, that is like 3 germ layers are there in any tissue. Okay, this is ectoderm. I will give you clear. Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These are the 3 germ layers. Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Any tissue in our body, any organ in our body which is originate from these 3 germ layers, these are the embryonic layers. Okay. The coelom, which is cavity, body cavity, which is germinate from the mesodermal origin. Coelom is the mesodermal origin, body cavity which is developed from the mesoderm. Guys, just look into here. If the coelom produce, there is a animals have 3 germ layers. The animals which is have coelom mean they have 3 germ layers must be there. Okay. If it is ectoderm and endoderm, without mesoderm there is no coelom. But which phyla first started? The triploblastic. Triploblastic mean 3 germ layers. Okay. 3 germ layers, triploblastic. Triploblastic animals as contain these 3 germ layers. 3 embryonic germ layers are triploblastic. But here there is a condition which is platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes first started triploblastic. Flatworms, this is the flatworm. Platyhelminthes first triploblastic. Okay, first triploblastic. First triploblastic, but there is no produced coelom, but no coelom, but there is no coelom in the platyhelminthes. Okay. Platyhelminthes are the triploblastic, but there is no coelom produced initially in the platyhelminthes. First coelom produced in the Aschelminthes. Aschelminthes, but this is Aschelminthes are pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomate. Pseudo mean false. Pseudo mean false. False mean incomplete cavity. Body cavity, incomplete body cavity. Incomplete body cavity is going to take place in the like Aschelminthes, mean like nematodes, like roundworms we can call nematodes, we can call roundworms, we can call Aschelminthes, such as the Aschelminthes are pseudocoelomates. There is a coelom, there is a tissue is there in the mesodermal origin. There is a cavity is filled by tissue. There is a body cavity is there filled by tissue, mesenchymal tissue. That's why we can call it as pseudocoelomate. There is a false coelom is going to take place in this Aschelminthes. So, first true coeloms are produced in the true coeloms first true coeloms are after Aschelminthes there is a annelids, okay, annelids, arthropods, and molluscans. These are the first 3 are the cyjocoelomates. Cyjocoelomate. Cyjocoelomates. And after that, these molluscans, echinoderms to chordates, up to the chordates, are enterocoelomates. We will discuss what is cyjocoelomates, what are the enterocoelomate, what is the difference between cyjocoelom and enterocoelom. We will discuss in the structural organization in the coming sessions, do not worry. And here I am going to end up to here only. Yeah, coeloms are first pseudocoelom, cyjocoelomates, enterocoelomates. Guys, yeah, first coelom, platyhelminthes are acoelom. There is no coelom. Platyhelminthes are acoelomates. There is no coelom, but triploblastic, mind it. Okay? Yeah, pseudocoeloms are nematode, mean nematoda are aschelminthes. Cyjocoeloms are molluscans, annelids, arthropods, and molluscans are cyjocoeloms, and chordates from the echinoderm chordate are like enterocoeloms. Match the following. Okay? Same like this. Okay? Yeah. Guys, you have to mind it, there is types of phyla based on embryonic origin. Of course, I am going to give you the best teaching for structural organization or entire zoology. I give you the best 180 score of the 180 score for the zoology. Okay? Do not worry, you have to follow me in each video. Okay? Guys, yeah. Next question. Yeah, it is about chordates. Okay? Yeah, aves, mammals, reptilia, and chondrichthyes. Okay? Yeah, which is match the following question, direct question. Okay? Aves are what? Pneumatic bones, of course, Columbia, aves. Okay? Mammals, corpus callosum, of course, macaques. Corpus callosum is the place. What is corpus callosum? What is corpus callosum? What is pneumatic bones? Pneumatic bones are which bones? There is a air is there in the bones, in their bones for the easy fly. Easy fly. Corpus callosum is in the forebrain. This is the cerebrum. Oh my goodness. This is the cerebrum, corpus callosum. Is cerebrum as right, the part of forebrain cerebrum, there is a two lobes are there in the cerebrum. Okay? There is another lobe is there. There is another cerebrum is there. This is right cerebrum, this is left cerebrum. Between two cerebral hemispheres, this is cerebrum hemisphere, right hemisphere and left side and right side of the cerebral hemisphere connected by bunch of neurons, bundle of neurons. Connected to cerebral hemispheres called corpus callosum. This is located at mammals itself. Columbia is the bird, sorry, macaque is the like monkey like mammal. Yeah, reptilia, which is epidermal scales, of course, and chondrict is cartilaginous skeleton which is collidon direct. Okay, yeah, this is pick the correct combination here. I did pick for the question. This is answer, guys. Okay, A1 B2 like direct answers. This is I did pick direct answers from the question paper. I did take direct answers. Okay, this is answers explanation, guys. Okay, yeah, in given combination are correct. Okay, yes. Next question. Yeah, this is also one of the question for the match the following. Okay, this is also answer, direct answer. I did not give the question here. Parasitic castration is what? Gigantism, hyperplasia, hypertrophy. Guys, this is the human health and disease, tropical disease. This is the lesson coming from tropical disease. India is a tropical country. There is a malaria parasites and platyhelminthes parasites, aschelminthes mean roundworm parasites are there in the tropical country itself. Okay, so that's why this is the important question. Is every year there is a question from this human health and disease. Okay, here also there is a question. Parasitic crustacean Saculina. Okay, of course, like this is the they can like enter into the body of the reproductive health of the human or any no, it is reproductive health and phyla. Okay, yes, Saculina. Gigantism is a larval of liver fluke. Hyperplasia is fasciola sheep, yeah, it is in the sheep. Hypertrophy, it is the plasmodium. Okay, yeah, direct question, guys, from human health and disease. You have to carry forward where there is a helminthes disease, where there is a bacterial disease, viral disease, fungal disease. Okay, most important. Yeah, if come to the next question, pick the wrongly matched pair. Typhoid, of course, yeah, this is the solution paper. Typhoid is the Salmonella typhi, it is the bacterial disease. Pneumonia is Streptococcus, and ringworm is Saculina, which is fungal disease. Filariasis is the Wuchereria. Wuchereria, it is of course round, it is about Aschelminthes. Yeah, it is correct answer is ringworm is Saculina. Wrongly pair is ringworm. Okay, ringworm, it is actually fungal disease. Ringworm caused by fungal such as Microsporium, okay, Trichophyton, and not by Saculina, which is a parasitic crustacean. Crustacean mean it is the molluscan. Okay, it is water like parasite. Okay, ringworm nothing but it is the fungus. Okay, third one is wrongly pair. Okay, here. Okay, yes. Next question. Which of the following statement is about competition is correct? Guys, if any like ecology, ecosystem, any ecosystem, there are population. Population is similar kind of genetic material. Okay, same breeding within their interbreeding called population. Population nothing but they are compete for the resources for their food. Of course, a human being, if they want any food like fruits and cereals, like these crops, they are dependent. But tiger not dependent on this. Tiger dependent for meat. Of course, there is no competition for the food between the human and tiger. Of course, there is a resources where the competition is going to take place in the similar species. Okay, here which one of the following statement about competition is correct? Competition exclusion. Okay, I will explain it. Yeah, competition exclusion, this word you have to remember, exclusion. Okay, the principle state that species is identical nature can coexistence indefinitely. Guys, here they mention exclusion, here they mention coexistence. So, there is no similar word. Exclusion mean eliminate. the species which is more strong, they can stable, and the least strong species they can eliminate from the resources. Okay? Between the competition, if the strong species, they can eliminate the other species which is less strong. Okay? So, they do not coexistence at all if they one is exclusion. So, statement 1 absolutely wrong. Okay? Yes. And statement 2, resources partitioning reduces competition by allowing species uses resources differently. Of course, this is exactly right answer, resources partitioning. Of course, there are some mangoes, 10 mangoes are there. 10 mangoes, if they can distribute 10 mangoes, 10 people or 20 people are there, they can cut the mango and distribute the mangoes, there is no competition. If they do not allow the resource distribute, there is a competition between them. So, this is like right statement, and unrelated species can compete if they rely on the same unlimited resources. Yeah, guys, unrelated species, no unrelated species, only related species, only competition. Mean if there any apple is there, apple, human being can eat apple and monkey also eat apple. So, resources, for their resources, it is the related for the food, right. So, related food only competition, unrelated nothing. So, this is wrong statement. Okay. This is all over says Gauss principle, guys. Gauss competitive exclusion is there in the NCERT, you have to come across that. Okay. Yeah. Competitive release occur when species expand niche after competitor is removal, absolutely right, Gauss principle says this, absolutely right. Okay. One which is 2 and 4th is right, 2 and 4th is right. Okay. This is a important question. Okay. This is innovative question, this is social question, this is the question for the resources. Okay. Ecology. Yeah. Next question. Yeah, the statement, of course, you have to take screenshot, which is I did explain, that is the statement here. Okay. Yes. Yeah, next question. Time's up. Yeah. Of course, this is about environment. The greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases mean this is about global warming. There is a heat produced for the pollution. Okay, what are the gases reason for? Methane, ethane, carbon monoxide, nitric oxide. Methane is production of like any carbon material which is decomposed. Methane is produced from the agriculture waste or else any other like carbonic waste is methane. Methane can produce carbon dioxide. It is directly affect to the greenhouse, that is high molecular weight of gas carbon dioxide that can hold the heat from the like which is sun rays, they can hold in the earth surface. Okay. So, methane is primarily it is greenhouse gases, ethane is not at all. Okay. Ethane is not at all the they can pollute, okay, to affect the greenhouse. Carbon monoxide which is delivered from the motor vehicles, incomplete combustion of the fuel leads to the release of carbon monoxide. It cannot be about for the greenhouse, it can be affect the respiratory like inflammations in the human being. Okay. Yes. And nitric oxide, it is also not greenhouse effect. Okay. Methane is the approval answer for this question, guys. Okay. Next question. These are not the accessory reproductive like glands of the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system, there is a like female reproductive system is separate from male reproductive system. You have to come across all part of the female reproductive system, guys. Okay, there are accessory ducts are there, accessory glands are there in the female reproductive system. Guys, Bartholin glands, greater vestibular glands and spleen glands and Cooper glands. Cooper glands nothing but it is the male and vestibular glands not. Bartholin glands only for the like female reproductive system is answer is not mean it is about Cooper's glands, it is completely main reproductive system, okay, Cooper's glands, okay. They can provide calcium in the like seminal fluid, okay. They can provide calcium, the Cooper's glands in the male reproductive system, okay. This is the unrelevant for the female reproductive system. You have to go through that. Reproductive system is the most important for NEET or any kind of exam, okay. Today's session is over. Thank you. Tomorrow we will take care of another session for the questioning session, okay. Thank you. All the best.